welcome. This is Global Updates on ABN. My name is Ama Marcus. We bring you developments across the continent. And today in our reports, Russian Prime Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow is starting a new stage in its special operation in Ukraine. And in reports from Ukraine, Ukraine received 76 Ukrainian prisoners of war in a swap with Russia. And on this, we would have VOA Anna Pateska to discuss the humanitarian situation in Ukraine. And in other reports, China is to increase coordination with Russia. From the African continent, Ethiopians queue at the Russian embassy to enlist for war. Now, these and other reports will be coming your way in just a moment. Thank you for joining us. But before we begin on any of that, first, the situation from Ukraine. We have VOA's Anna Pateska to discuss the humanitarian situation in Ukraine. Hello, Anna, and welcome to Global View on ABN, Uyo, Nigeria. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, so what is the humanitarian situation in eastern Ukraine right now?
Well, for the moment, we can see clearly that humanitarian situation in the eastern part of Ukraine is quite catastrophic. If you look at Mariupol, for instance, it just any worse is difficult to imagine. If we talk about eastern part like Kharkiv region, certain areas in the Kharkiv region, Donetsk region and Luhansk region, the situation is kind of similar. The only difference is that occupation in the occupied territories, the only difference is that those territories occupied or under Russian control are not that long as Mariupol. So if we talk about EU, for instance, the situation is very, very bad. If we talk about other little towns, it's better, but again, no humanitarian aid is allowed in by Russian forces, no aid from international partners are allowed in, so unfortunately it is quite bad and it is quite catastrophic, especially in certain areas.
Okay, so where is the Russian offensive at its peak at the moment?
Can you come again, please?
Yeah, where is the Russian offensive at its peak at the moment?
So for the moment, what's happening in Ukraine is eastern part. If we talk about the Donbas, it's Luhansk and Donetsk regions, Kharkiv region, Mariupol is the separate case, but again it's Donetsk region as well, and of course Kherson region. So this is a kind of a line that the front line that we can see now, and starting from yesterday evening, the escalation is happening there, so there are more and more assaults from Russian troops, and today Mariupol was heavily bombed, Kharkiv was heavily bombed, the city of Kramatorsk was also heavily bombed, and Russian forces are trying to go further through Izum to the Donetsk region, and they're not succeed in that, as well as they're trying to connect their forces at the front line of Kherson region, and also for the moment they're not successful. Ukrainian forces are keeping the borders safe, and heavy battles are taking place.
Okay, so looking at the level of damage done in Ukraine, how can the international community support people to build back their lives?
Today, Ukrainian government concluded that for the moment, if we look at, just an example, if we look at the city of Irpin, which is Kyiv region, and this is one of the cities that suffered the most in Kyiv region, it would need at least $1 billion to be rebuilt. And this is just one city we're talking about, and this is very slight amount because we obviously don't have official results of all the investigations and all the investigation of all the damages. So I would say that, of course, financial support would be very crucial, and this would be probably the main support needed from the international community for Ukrainians and Ukraine Ukraine state. Of course, legal support, because all these military crimes committed by Russian forces should be brought to the legal stage, European legal stage, and should be investigated and obviously judged. Also, if we go further, and if we look at the after-war period, Ukraine would definitely need, in addition to financial support, it will need professional support in terms of, for instance, infrastructure or humanitarian areas. And I think this is the main thing. But we all have to understand that Ukrainian society is very much committed to rebuild the cities, to rebuild their home, and I think that this process would be quite fast. Because it's not only government who's taking care of this, but also society. And so I guess we already should start thinking about it.
Okay. All right. So Russia is claiming that the current sanctions imposed by other countries and, of course, the international organizations are not having any impact on their economy. Now, how true is this assertion?
I would not agree because neither Russian experts nor European or international experts confirmed that. As you know, sanctions takes time, so you need certain period of time to actually start feeling the sanctions. And sanctions which have been appointed here are just unprecedented, and I think that it's really going to be very hard for Russia. For instance, yesterday, Elvira Nabiulina, who is now the head of the Central Bank of Russia, she actually confirmed that by June, Russia would be in a very tough economic situation. For the moment, the country is keeping afloat thanks to all the reserves that they have and that they have managed to create in the past years. But June seemed to be the end of these resources, and of course Russia would have to start thinking about how to go on, because obviously nor Europeans nor US representatives would be a help here. Yeah. And of course if we look at Bloomberg reports, Bloomberg actually said that it would be the first external default for Russia by the end of the year. It's like 90% that it will happen this year.
Okay, so bringing it back to Ukrainians, what is the current mood within Ukrainians regarding this war?
Ukrainians understand that this is going to be a very hard time. Ukrainians understand that the war is going to take some time as well, so there are no expectations that this would end very fast. Mm-hmm. But the mood inside the country is very positive in terms of where country is going, because society is very, very united in these fightings together with the Ukrainian army. So it's like one united mechanism. And Ukrainians, of course, they're not going to accept any territorial or any economic or political movements back. So for Ukrainians, they're quite angry at the moment because of what had happened and because of all the crimes committed by Russian troops in the Kiev region, in Mariupol, in Izum, and Ukrainians would never accept any coming back, so it's quite, the mood is the war mood, but people look positive into the future, and people expect much better future and European future for the country.
Okay, thank you so much. But before we go, what would people expect as an outcome of the war from both sides, on the Ukrainian side and from Europe and of course from the rest of the world?
I'm so sorry. Can you come again, please?
What should people expect as an outcome of this war from Europe to the rest of the world, and of course to the people that have the direct impact, that those are Ukrainians?
Well, Ukraine, this is a huge tragedy for Ukraine, the war itself, but at the same time, it made certain European, actions of Ukraine towards the European future much faster. So Ukraine does expect this European movement towards rapidly, and Ukraine wants to see quite clear position of its international partners in this regard. So Ukraine expects to be a good partner and equal partner to Europeans and international society and government as well. And Ukraine expects that this war would actually end, will actually end the battle of Ukrainian nation for independence, for for all the centuries Ukraine was fighting. So Ukrainian people just want to live normal and European life and independent and be free. So the battle of freedom should be the final here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anna, for joining us, for making time to join us at this time. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, and that was Anna Pateska from Kiev in Ukraine. We take a quick break, and when we return, more developments and reports will come your way. Do stay with us.
Security is defined as a state of being free from danger or threat. It is designed for dependability, safety, and reliability. Security is freedom from our resilience against potential harm caused by others. In other words, national security is very necessary if we want to be protected from imminent danger in Nigeria. Every right-thinking Nigerian should be saddened that from the north to the south, from east to west, insecurity heightened in the form of Boko Haram, herdsmen, militants, banditry, kidnapping, murder, and assassination by unknown gunmen. Therefore, it is imminent that all hands must be on deck to complement the efforts of the federal and state government to tackle these monsters. The religious, political, traditional, and community leaders, men, women, youth must be alert to rise up to assist our security agencies to make Nigeria safe again. We should not abandon security work to the police and other security agencies alone. According to Jane Adams, the good we secure for ourselves is precarious and uncertain until it is secured for all of us and incorporated into our common life. Report all suspicious elements around your neighborhood to security agencies, for injury to one is injury to all.
The youth population is the human capital hub of any society. A youth is someone in the prime time between 15 to 35 years. Youthfulness is characterized by vibrancy, energy, and curiosity that is needed to create social development. The level of youth development reveals the quality of preparation the society is making for the future. No matter the number of natural resources a nation has, it will remain wretched without harnessing its youth resources. Therefore, youth empowerment is considered among major factors that determine the development of a country. According to Muhammadu Buhari, youths must see themselves as the greatest asset the country has and remain resilient no matter what the situation in the country may be. Nigerian youth should shun cultism, banditry, kidnapping, drug addiction, rape, and other negative vices to reposition themselves as vanguard for positive change across the world. Our most potent ambassadors are young Nigerians who are breaking new grounds and winning laurels in diverse fields of endeavors. Nigerian youths must prove that truly they are leaders of tomorrow.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. This is Global Updates on ABN. Our focus moves over to more reports and developments from Ukraine. As Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister says, Russia handed over 60 soldiers and 16 civilians to Ukraine in an exchange of prisoners of war. The swap included 10 officers. In other reports, Oleg Subov, the regional governor, says at least 3 people were killed and 16 wounded in shelling in Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. And in more reports from Ukraine, Ukraine's defense ministry says the aim of Russia's new military offensive in eastern Ukraine is to grab land, establishing an underground link between the territories in the east and Crimea and crush Ukraine's armed forces. Military spokesperson says that Russian forces were attacking along the entire front line in eastern Ukraine, pressing their siege of Mariupol in the south and trying to encircle cities in the region of Donetsk and Luhansk. And away from that, Russian-backed separatists who rose up in 2014 have declared the so-called People's Republics in territory they control in parts of Luhansk and Donetsk regions. Ukrainian officials have repeatedly said Moscow wants to seize Mariupol and all the territory that the Ukrainian government forces still hold in Luhansk and Donetsk to create a land league with Crimea, which Russia seized and annexed in 2014. In Ukrainian negotiator Mikhailo Podolak says Russia's siege of the city of Mariupol has further complicated negotiation processes in the war in Ukraine, and it was hard to say when direct talks might resume. Podolak said in a written response to questions from reporters that he believed Russia was banking on strengthening its position through a new offensive it has launched in eastern Ukraine. And over to Russia, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says Moscow was starting a new stage of what he calls a special military operation in Ukraine, which he predicted would be a significant development. We take a listen.
Operation in the east of Ukraine is aimed, as was announced from the very beginning, to fully liberate the Donetsk and Lugansk republics. And this operation will continue. It is beginning, another stage of this operation is beginning, and I'm sure this will be a very important moment of this entire special operation.
And away from that, Army spokesperson Igor Gachenko says Russia carried out dozens of strikes on Ukrainian targets in the Donbass overnight after Ukraine's President Zelensky claimed that the long-awaited Russian offensive in the country's east has begun. We take a listen.
В течение ночи высокоточными ракетами воздушного базирования Воздушно-космических сил России подавлено 13 опорных пунктов подразделений украинских войск, а также места сосредоточения живой силы и военной техники противника в районах населенных пунктов Славянск, Барвинково и Попасный. Оперативно-тактической и армейской авиации ВКС России нанесены удары по 60 военным объектам Украины в районах населенных пунктов Червоная Поляна и Балаклея. Уничтожены 2 склада хранения головных частей тактических ракет .У. Ракетными войсками и артиллерией нанесены удары по 1260 военным объектам. Поражены 25 пунктов управления украинских подразделений в районах населенных пунктов Николаев, Кировск, 2 склада ракетно-артиллерийского вооружения в районах Воскресенска и Николаева. Космических сил России подавлено 13 опорных пунктов подразделений украинских войск, а также места сосредоточения живой силы и военной техники противника в районах населенных пунктов Славянск, Барвинково и
And away from that, Polish Prime Minister says Russia launches a new offensive in eastern Ukraine. Poland's health services had capacity to test and to treat at least 10,000 injured Ukrainian soldiers. Mateusz Morawiec told reporters during a visit to eastern Ukrainian city of Lviv that Poland was already treating several dozen soldiers and was prepared to take in some more. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday told CNN that between 2,500 to 3,000 Ukrainian troops have died so far in the war with Russia, and another 10,000 had been injured. Morawiec was visiting Lviv to open a Polish-funded container town built to provide temporary accommodation for 300 to 350 refugees in portable cabins. And a government source says the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez will travel to the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, to meet President Volodymyr Zelensky in the coming days. Sanchez follows the footsteps of several other European leaders, including European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and British and the Dutch premiers who have traveled to Ukraine since Russia's invasion of the country in a show of support for the president and its people. Sanchez said on Monday Spain would reopen its embassy in Kiev, which has been closed since February 24th. And the Dutch government says it reopened its embassy in the Ukrainian city of Lviv with a small number of staff last Saturday. The Dutch embassy in Ukraine's capital was moved to Lviv in February 22nd, 2 days before the Russian troops invaded the country. Now, staff then moved to Poland on February 26th. Several other European countries, including France, recently announced they would move back their embassies to Kiev. And in Greece, the Greece's Coast Guard says Greece has seized a Russian oil tanker off the island of Eva in a part of European Union sanctions imposed on Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine. Earlier this month, the EU banned Russian-flagged vessels from the 27-nation bloc's ports, with some exemptions, as it adopts new sweeping sanctions against Russia. The Russian-flagged frigates with 19 Russian crew members on board was seized near Christos on the southern coast of Eva, which lies off the Greek mainland near the capital, Athens. And in more reports, Chinese Foreign Ministry says China will continue to increase strategic coordination with Russia, regardless of the international fatality. The Chinese Vice Foreign Minister gave the assurance to Russian ambassador to China on Monday. And away from that, the White House says US President Joe Biden will hold a call with allies to discuss the Ukraine crisis, including on how to coordinate holding Russia accountable. And over to the international body, the International Monetary Fund slashes its forecast for global economic growth by nearly a full percentage point, citing Russia's war in Ukraine and warning that inflation was now a clear and present danger for many countries. Now, the war is expected to slow growth and further increase inflation, the IMF has said in its latest World Economic Outlook, while warning that its forecast was marked by unusually high uncertainty. Now, further sanctions on Russian energy and widening of the war, sharper than forecast, decelerated in China. And a renowned flare-up of the pandemic could further slow growth and boost inflation, while rising prices could trigger social unrest. The global lender, which downgraded its forecast for the second time this year, said it now projects global growth at 3.6% in 2022 and 2023, a drop of 0.8 and 0.2 percentage points from its January forecast, given the war's direct impact on Russia and Ukraine and the global spillovers. The medium-term global growth is expected to decline at about 3.3% over the medium term, compared to an average of 4.1% in a period from 2004 to 2013, and the growth of 6.1% in 2021. Well, those are all the reports we have for you concerning the war in Europe. In other reports coming to you from Europe, the office of the Finnish president says Finland's President Sauli Niinisto, the 73-year-old, has tested positive for COVID-19. It added his planned official visit to Norway on April 22nd and 21st would be postponed. And away from that, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson apologizes to Parliament for breaking lockdown rules as opposition parties push for an investigation into whether he misled lawmakers by repeatedly insisting he did not breach COVID-19 regulations. Now, Johnson was fined by the police last week for attending a birthday party thrown in his honor in June 2020, when people from different households were not allowed to meet indoors. Opponents have called for Johnson to resign, accusing him of misleading Parliament after he told lawmakers last year that all rules were followed in Downing Street, the Prime Minister's official residence and workplace during the pandemic. Opposition lawmakers are in talks on how best to seek to censor Johnson, either by pushing for a vote on whether he is in contempt of Parliament or to refer him to a parliamentary committee to investigate whether he deliberately misled lawmakers. And British police say they had charged a 29-year-old man who was armed with a knife when he confronted two Ministry of Defence police officers near Prime Minister Boris Johnson's office and residence in central London on Monday. Panther Kamaz was charged with attempted grievous bodily harm in possession of a pointed blade article and will appear at Westminster Magistrates Court later today. Now, the police cordoned off Whitehall, which was home to several government departments, including Johnson's Downing Street residence and office, for several hours on Monday, following the incident on the Horse Guards Parade. Any more reports coming to you from Europe over to Poland. Poland's health minister says it will not take or pay for more doses of COVID-19 vaccine under the European Union supply contract, setting the stage for legal battle with the manufacturers. Now, Poland, along with other EU members, have been receiving COVID-19 vaccines during the coronavirus pandemic under the supply contracts agreed between the European Commission and vaccine makers such as BioNTech and Pfizer or Moderna. Now, Poland's biggest supplier is Pfizer. However, the country has seen lower vaccine uptake for than most of the European Union and has surplus vaccine stock, parts of which were sold or donated to other countries. Now, Poland cannot directly terminate the contract for the supply of vaccines, as the parties to the contract are the European Commission and manufacturers. Now, the value of the contract for vaccine supplies to Poland up till the end of 2023, with one producer alone, was worth over 6 billion zlotys. The equivalent is $1.4 billion, with over 2 billion of that for supply in 2022. And in France, French Prime Minister Jean Castex says Emmanuel Macron was not guaranteed to win the April 24th runoff in the presidential election against far-right candidate Marine Le Pen. Now, Le Pen is challenging incumbent centrist Macron in the election, with opinion polls showing Macron edging ahead of the next Sunday's second-round vote. Now, Macron and Le Pen are seeking to attract voters who backed far-left leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon after he came third in the third round of the April 10th with about 22% of the vote. Mélenchon's party was given no voting instructions for the runoff. After its internal consultation showed most people would abstain or submit a blank vote on April 24th, adding to the uncertainty over the outcome. Now, Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire told Europe 1 Radio that Le Pen will hand France's sovereignty to Vladimir Putin and to Russia if she was elected, and that she previously voiced admiration for the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, those are all the reports we have for you from Europe. We take a quick break, and when we return, more development follow your way. To stay with us.
Nigeria is a great country, blessed with human and natural resources. Born on October 1st, 1960, and like a child who's grown into an adult, has faced her own share of challenges. But Nigeria has the capacity to fulfill her destiny. With great minds and great leaders, a bright future is guaranteed. Though tribes and tongues may differ, her beauty is in the diversity. Her power is in the unity. Nigeria, our country, is for you and for me. Let's make it the Nigeria of our dream. Advocate Broadcasting Network, a part of you.
The youth population is the human capital hub of any society. A youth is someone in the prime time between 15 to 35 years. Youthfulness is characterized by vibrancy, energy, and curiosity that is needed to create social development. The level of youth development reveals the quality of preparation the society is making for the future. No matter the number of natural resources a nation has, it will remain wretched without harnessing its youth resources. Therefore, youth empowerment is considered among major factors that determine the development of a country. According to Muhammadu Buhari, youths must see themselves as the greatest asset the country has and remain resilient no matter what the situation in the country may be. Nigerian youths should shun cultism, banditry, kidnapping, drug addiction, rape, and other negative vices to reposition themselves as vanguard for positive change across the world. Our most potent ambassadors are young Nigerians who are breaking new grounds and winning laurels in diverse fields of endeavors. Nigerian youths must prove that truly they are leaders of tomorrow.
Welcome back and thank you for staying tuned. This is Global Updates on ABN. Our focus is over to the African continent and we start off with Ethiopia, as dozens of young Ethiopian men continue to gather at the Russian embassy in the capital, Addis Ababa, following rumors of soldiers being recruited to fight the war in Ukraine. But the embassy spokesman said no recruitment was being carried out in Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia was among countries that missed a UN session to vote on the resolution that the Russian invasion in Ukraine. Now, some 17 African countries, including South Africa, abstained from the votes. And over in Mozambique, victims of a rubbish-tip landslide in Mozambique's capital, Maputo, in 2019 have been protesting in front of the city's council headquarters to demand that the authorities pay the rent for their temporary housing as they await the promised new homes. Now, the residents say they have not received any allowance for 4 months, putting them at risk of eviction during the rainy season. The government had promised to pay the victims' rent until they had permanent homes, which were under construction, are completed. Now, the landslide at the Helen garbage dump, about 6.2 miles from Maputo City, crushed homes and killed at least 17 people. Now, less than 50 of the about 300 families affected have so far been rehoused. And in Ghana, people have taken to social media to mourn Karen Amfor, a former Ghanaian civil servant who died in the US after getting into a fight with her brother over household chores. Now, police in Evanston, in the state of Illinois, have charged Ms. Amfor's 26-year-old brother with a first-degree murder. Prosecutors say he admitted to stabbing his 30-year-old sister after they got into a dispute over routine household chores. Now, Ms. Amfor was a graduate student at Illinois Northwestern University, according to her LinkedIn. Now, she previously worked as administrative assistant at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration of Ghana. Over to Egypt. Egypt's Public Prosecution Office has ruled that the death of a prominent government critic was not the result of any crime. Supporters of Anman Houdaoud, who said he was subject to ill treatment by the police after what they describe as a forced disappearance. Mr. Houdaoud died in the government-run psychiatric hospital in March, but his body was not handed over to relatives until earlier this month. Now, the Egyptian Prosecution Office said in the post-mortem revealed that Mr. Houdaoud died from a chronic heart condition. However, there were no signs of violence or resistance. Well, that is all the reports we have for you today on Global Updates on ABN. Join us at 10 a.m. tomorrow for more developments and reports around the world. Watch us live on www.abn.ng/live or on StarTimes channel 140. Follow us on social media at Advocate Broadcasting Network. Thank you for watching. My name is Ama Marcus. Good evening.